vertex at HK. So our objectives for this day are write the equation. So write the equation of the parabola. This is parabola that satisfies the given conditions. And we're going to also transform the standard form for parabola into general form of the equation of parabola. And then we're going to determine if we can graph or if we can show the graph of the given equation. So in this module class, so in our last topic, we discussed about circle, and we define circle as the set of all points wherein it is equidistant from the center. So from this module, we shall give names to other sets of points or curves and derive the corresponding equations. As in the case of a circle, the equations will be of the second degree or quadratic into variables. All the equations, with a few exceptions, define relations, some of which are also functions. So there are some equations that we can say that it's a function, like for parabola opening upward and parabola opening downward. It's a function. So after we discuss conics, we'll proceed to functions. We will focus on functions. Okay, and we will define functions there. And for functions class, if the graph is symmetric to y-axis or in the origin. And by just looking on the graph, we can determine if the given equation or if the given is a function or not. Okay, so for parabola opening upward, when you do so by just looking on the graph, you will do a vertical line test. Okay, in vertical line test, if there is a point that touches the line, it's the given graph is a function. Okay, only one point. Okay, so this is for quadratic equation. It says there that other equations, okay, with the second degree, or we also call that quadratic, in two variables, there are some there that we can call them function, but some of them are relations. So kung merong isang point na magta-touch sa curve, only one point touches the line, we can say that it's a function. But there are some quadratic equations, or if the highest degree is 2, it's a relation. Like parabola opening to the right and opening to the left. Because when we do vertical line tests, there are 2 points that touch the line. Therefore, this is not a function, but a relation. Okay, so we will give focus on this after we discuss conics. So relation is just a set of all points, or it's just a set of ordered pairs. So when you list all the points, okay, and you have a set of points, it's a relation. Okay, so yun siya. Function, magkaiba. Not all functions are relations, but not all relations are functions. Kasi nga, relations is just a set of points. In function, there is a conditions that we need to satisfy para masabi siyang functions. It's not just a set of points. So, dapat pag function, isang beses lang mauulit ang value ni x. So, if you list all the points, halimbawa, points nito, or we have the set of points, 3, 2, or -3, 1. So it's a set of points. This is a relation and this is also a function because when we look on the abscissa or the x, the value of x, it only appears once. So it's a function and it's also a relation. But if we have a set of points like 3, 2, 3, 1, it's a relation but not a function because when we look on the x values na ulit. Okay. So anyway, that's another topic. Our concern for today is conics. So that is the meaning of the first paragraph that we have set up all. We also consider some uh, set of points or curves, okay, and we derive them depending on the cases that we have. So as in the case of a circle, the equation will be the second degree or quadratic in two variables. All the equations with a few exceptions define relations, some of which are also functions. And then, so the general quadratic equation in x and y may be expressed in the form. So this is the general quadratic equation. General kasi naka-equate to 0 and the highest degree is 2. That's why it's the general quadratic equation. We have ax squared plus bxy plus cy squared plus dx plus ey plus f is equal to 0. So the graph of a second degree equation in the coordinates x and y is called a conic section, or more simply, a conic. So this designation derives from the fact that the curve can be obtained as the intersection of a right circular cone and a plane. So the Greek mathematician Apollonius wrote the definitive treatise conic sections on this subject. So it superseded the works of earlier Greek geometers and formed the cornerstone of thought on the subject for well over 1,000 years. Indeed, 18 centuries passed before Descartes wrote his La Geometry. So the conic sections are of more than historic or academic interest. So we will also discuss this. I mean, in the history of mathematics, mababanggit ang conic sections. Okay? And then, so in science, engineering, and industry, we also have this topic, conics. So again, conic sections class was an interesting subject among ancient Greek mathematicians. So today, this is still of interest because of its importance. Its practical applications can be observed of its not only in our daily activities in which we encounter circular motions and their uses, but also in the universal movements of planetary objects that follow elliptic revolution. So its concepts are also present not only in mega parabolic structures like bridges. So makikita natin yung application ng conics not only in our solar system or in planets, but also in the structures. Structures like for bridges, but also in atomic particles, so in chemistry, okay, that follow hyperbolic paths. So again, banggit kanina yung astronomy. So in astronomy or in the solar system, elliptical motions of objects are observed in the galaxy. All planets move around the sun in elliptical orbits. Moons follow elliptic path in moving around the planets. Artificial satellites, likewise, revolve around the Earth in elliptic orbits. Parabolic designs are used in a number of state-of-the-art equipment such as spotlight, radar antenna, and satellite dishes. So as you've noticed, class, the structure or the shape or the curve of uh, antenna or yung sa satellite ay parabola. So, we will determine why they choose parabola. So, let's continue. So obviously, different kinds of conic sections are possible. A plane not passing through the vertex of a cone may cut all the elements of one nap and make a closed curve. So when we have the intersection, okay, the intersection of a plane, okay, itong plane na to, of a plane and a closed curve, which is a cone, that's why it's conics, if the plane is parallel to an element, the intersection extends indefinitely for a long one nap but does not cut the other nap. The plane may cut both naps and make a section of two parts, each extending indefinitely for along a nap. In addition to those sections, the plane may pass through the vertex of the cone and determine a point, a line, or two intersecting lines. An intersection of each of these kinds is sometimes called a degenerate conic. So as we are looking on the figure 3.1, so when there is an intersection of a closed curve and a plane, we're going to form conic sections. Okay, so we will have ellipse, parabola, and hyperbola. So let's discuss parabola. So, paano ba nabubuo ang parabola? When we check the figure 3.1, an image of a parabola, this one, an image of a parabola can be formed if a right circular cone cut by a plane is parallel to one and only one generator. Okay? So, kung yung plane ay parallel, okay, sa right circular cone, you're going to form a parabola. Curves followed by projectiles are considered as parabolic designs, which are commonly used in water slides. And we also apply parabola in some laws of physics. Okay. So we also use this design. Okay. So sabi kanina nabanggit sa mga bridges o kaya sa antenna. Okay. Bakit kaya? Because parabolic concepts are applied in lights and sounds design. Sa signal, like sa signal. Okay? Ang design ng antenna or ng signal ay parabolic para makakuha, okay, ng liwanag at ng mas makasagap ng sounds, lights and sounds design. So the dish antenna and the automobile headlight reflectors use parabolic shape so that light rays and sound waves were all reflected in parallel ways, thus creating stronger, more focused signal. A number of famous landmarks around the world are in the form of parabola. So let's define. parabola. A parabola is the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from a fixed point and a fixed line of a plane. The fixed point is called the focus and the fixed line the directrix. Okay. So again, parabola is the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant from a fixed point. So it means that the distance from the vertex to this point, which is the focus, is equal to the distance, okay, from focus to directrix. So equal, this is the directrix class. Ang distance ng directrix to vertex is equal to the distance of vertex to focus. Okay? That line is called directrix and this fixed point is called the focus. And then, so how are we going to derive the equation for a parabola if the vertex is at the origin? If we check this figure 3.3, when we get the distance of x plus a or point P to F, when we apply the distance formula, that is the square root of the distance formula is the square root of the square root of x of 1 minus x of 2. So x minus a squared plus y minus 0 squared, which is y squared. That is equal to x plus a. To find the distance, okay, of the sum of x and a, we apply the distance formula. And when we simplify that, we squared both sides para matanggal yung square root. Kasi when we squared square root, the power becomes 1. Or that will be canceled. Kasi nga, magiging 1 na lang ang equation. So when we do that, we will have the square root of x minus a plus y squared is equal to the square root of x plus a. And we expand this one. So when we expand square root of x minus a, we will have x squared minus 2ax plus a squared plus y squared. And when we expand square root of x plus a, we'll have x squared plus 2ax plus a squared. And combining like terms, x squared minus x squared, so 0. And then this will be also cancelled, a squared minus a squared. So we will have y squared equals 2ax. This will become positive. So 2ax plus 2ax, that is 4ax. This is the equation of a parabola if the vertex is at the origin. Y squared equals 4ax. Okay, so nandyan yan sa module. And then, so that is the equation of a parabola, again, with the vertex at the origin and focus at A0. So always remember that kung si y ang naka-squared, you will have the focus A0. Magsi-0 to. Okay? So again, pag naka-squared si y, you will have A0 for your focus. So pag naka-squared si y class, it's either parabola opening to the right if the value of a is greater than 0, or if the value of a is positive. Parabola opening to the left if the value of a is less than 0, or if the value of a is a negative number. And then, so I'm going to summarize yung mas madaling makuha ang focus, vertex, focus, directrix. So we have the equation of a parabola. If the vertex is at HK, the equation, this is for parabola. We have y squared equals 4ax. And the focus, so sabi natin kanina class, pag naka-squared si y, you have the focus a0. Okay? So meron tayong x squared equals 4ay. Baligtad naman ng focus, 0a. Kasi si x ang naka-squared. So again, itong x squared equals 4ay, it's a function. But y squared equals 4ax is not a function, but also a relation. But it's a relation. And then, opening ng parabola. So sabi natin kanina, I know you are familiar with this x squared. Okay, kasi karaniwan ito ang tinuturo. The parabola is either opening upward, or if a is greater than 0, or if the value of a is positive. Okay, parabola opens upward. Opens upward. If a is less than 0, parabola opens downward. And of course, for y squared equals 4ax, if a is greater than 0, the opening of a parabola, it's to the right. Parabola to the right. Or if the value of a is positive, the opening of a parabola is to the right. If a is less than 0, or if the value of a is negative, the opening of a parabola is to the left. Okay? And we have there, class, mamaya kunin natin itong mga to. Latus rectum. So, dinefine din yan dun sa module. Latus rectum class is the, what's this? The opening of the distance between, no, that's the opening of the parabola. Gaano ka laki yung opening niya. Okay? Latus rectum class, the equation is x is equal to positive, negative a. Okay? Kung ang A ay positive, the equation of latus rectum, okay, ay nag-iiba. Kung positive, negative. Kung negative, magiging positive ang equation niya. Pero hindi na natin kinukuha ang equation ng latus rectum. Ang goal natin sa latus rectum class, malaman kung gaano kalaki yung opening ng latus rectum. And that is the length. Okay? And the direction, direction and the length. Latus rectum, that is 4A. Yung nandito, ibig sabihin, yung value ng 4A dyan, that is the opening or the length of the latus rectum. Gaano kalaki yung opening ng parabola. That is 4A. And the direction, dahil ang y squared equals 4ax. It's either to the right or to the left. Symmetric yan class sa x-axis. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin ng symmetric to x-axis, itong part na to, when you flip it ng pababa, downward, equal yan. Ito ay equal dito. When you flip it. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, symmetric, ang x-axis ang naghahati sa parabola. Okay? Kaya ang focus mo ay A0. Okay? So, ang direction ng latus rectum, dahil to the right or to the left yan, sabi kasi natin, ang directrix, kung nandito ang focus, nandito ang directrix. That is parallel to y-axis. Okay? So, it's vertical. Okay? Or parallel to y-axis. And the endpoints, ito ang kailangan din nating makuha, length and endpoints. Susundan nyo to. Dahil A0 yan, same lang din syempre ng focus. And dahil dalawang endpoints yan na nasa dulo, at ang kabuuan nito ay 4A, ang kabuuan niyan ay 4A, half lang yan. Kasi ito, at saka mula dyan, kung nandito ang focus, kalahati lang, di ba? So, A, 2A, and A, negative 2A. How about if we have this equation, x squared is equal to 4ay. The equation is y naman. Y equals positive, negative, a. So it depends again. Kung positive dito, negative to. Kung negative dito, positive ang equation ng latus rectum. How about the direction? Ang graph nito, it's either upward or downward. At ito naman ay parallel sa y-axis. Kasi itong part na to, when we flip it to the right or to the left, equal to. So, ibig sabihin, ang axis na naghahati sa kanila ay ang y-axis. Okay? Therefore, ang directrix mo ay nandito ang focus, nandito ang directrix. Ang directrix ay parallel sa x-axis. Therefore, the direction is horizontal. Okay? And same, the length is still 4a. Okay? Wala yan sa direction ng parabola. It's always 4a, tong part na to. And the endpoints, follow nyo to, ang A ay nasa ordinate. So, we will have 2a, a, or negative 2a, a. Okay? Ito ay summary ng nasa graph. Nasa module, nilagay ko siya. And the last is, of course, the directrix. Directrix is the fixed line. Okay? Kung ang parabola ay opening to the right, ang directrix niyan ay itong line na to. Parallel to y-axis. Kung dito man, ganun pa din. Parallel pa din sa y-axis. And the equation for directrix, ang lagi lang hinahanap ay equation ni directrix, latus rectum, yung length niya at endpoints. Yun yung mga kailangan yung kunin para mag-graph. And of course, you need to determine the opening, the vertex, and focus. Yung mga yan. For the equation of a directrix, so sabi it's a fixed line. So dapat ang equation natin, it's a line. Okay? So we will have x equals negative a. Okay? Kukunin nyo lang, if a 0, ang directrix niyan, x equals negative a. If it's negative a 0, you will have x equals a. For the equation of a directrix, again, directrix is, it's always a line, the equation. So, dapat ang equation mo ay line. Okay? And the direction ng directrix, kung to the right or to the left, it's still vertical. Okay? So, pwede nyong ilagay, ang direction ay vertical. If the equation is x squared equals 4ay, the equation of a directrix is y equals negative a. And the direction of the directrix is horizontal. Paano nyo ba malalaman kung ang directrix ng itong equation ay ito? Follow nyo to. Sa focus, ang may value, yung x coordinate. Okay? So you will have here x equals the opposite of this, negative a. Or if you want, saan symmetric ang y squared? Kung ito ang equation, y squared equals 4ax. Symmetric yan sa x-axis. Therefore, your directrix ay dapat x equals negative a. Ang y squared equals 4ay, symmetric yan. San ba nahati? Okay. Equally ang graph. Anong axis? Y. Therefore, your directrix is y equals negative a. Is that clear? Clear ba tayo dito sa table before we try examples? Wait. All right, so let's try example. So number 1, write the equation of the parabola with vertex is at the origin and the focus is at 0, 4. And then graph the parabola. Okay, for number 1 class, it says there that the vertex is at the origin and the focus is at 0, 4. So if the coordinates of focus is 0, 4, or 0a, therefore when we solve this, a is 4. And what is the equation if we have 0, A. We will have x squared. Kasi ang value ni x dito ay 0. Okay? X squared is equal to 4ay. And sabi natin, ang value ni a ay 4. So we'll have 4 multiplied by 4y. Therefore, the equation of a parabola is x squared equals 4 times 4, it's 16y. Okay? So, write the equation of the parabola. So, this is the equation of a parabola. And then we're going to graph. We have the vertex. We have the focus. And let's find the directrix, the equation of directrix. What is the directrix if we have this equation? We have
-4 po.
what is the equation? Is -4 an equation? When we say equation,
X equals -4.
the equation is, by the way, class, what is the opening of this parabola? The value of a is positive, and we have this. Si x ang naka-squared. It's either up or down. So since this is positive, the parabola, para ma-visualize nyo, parabola opens upward. Kapag upward yan, pag in-imagine nyo yung graph, ang directrix niyan ay dapat parallel to x-axis. So the direction is horizontal. So ibig sabihin, we will have y equals -a. So you will have y equals -4. So when we graph this, class, the parabola opens upward. The vertex is at the origin. And the focus is 0, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kung ang focus ay nasa taas, class, syempre that ang directrix niyan ay nandito. At ang length of latus rectum natin, class, para makuha natin yung endpoints. Endpoints of latus rectum. Okay? So you will have 0 to a. 0, 2 times 4, it's 8. And 0, -2a. -2 times 4, it's -8. Okay, so you will have 0, 8. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the directrix. So we will have A pala, A to A. This is A to A. Kasi dapat katapat yan, class, ng focus. So you will have A is 4. And then 4, 8, 4, -8. This is the focus. So let's name our axis X and Y. We have here the vertex. This is the focus. So sabi, ang length of latus rectum, that is 4A, which is 16. So ibig sabihin, pwede kayong mag-count ng 8 to the left, 8 to the right. At same yon ng points, 4, 8, and 4, -8.
Ma'am, excuse me po.
Yes.
Ma'am, ask ko lang po, di ba po dapat po ang endpoint po ay 2AA po?
What?
Kasi
What?
yung sa ano po, sa lactus rectum po ma'am, di ba po dapat po siya
Baliktad,
ay...
baliktad.
Opo.
I get your point.
Opo. Thank you.
Thank you, Ira. So we'll have
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you po.
sorry. Dito tayo magbabago class. Positive, negative 2A and A. We'll just follow yung coordinates ng focus. So we will have positive, negative 2A, that is 8, 4, and negative 8, 4. So we will have here 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At katapat yan ng focus. And then, okay, so if you want, you name your points. This is 8, 4, 8, 4, negative A, 4. So, ang total length of this class is 16. Okay, yun kasi yan. The absolute value of 4A, that is the length. Okay, length of the latus rectum. That is the absolute value of 4A, which is 16. That's why we come up with A to A positive, negative 2A. So that is the graph for number 1. So we're asked to find the equation. This is the equation of this parabola. X squared equals 16y. And then the focus is at 0, 4. Okay, and the vertex is at the origin, this one. Can you follow number 1?
Yes po. Yes
All
po.
right, so number 2 example, a parabola has its vertex at the origin. Its axis along the x-axis and passes through the point -3, 6. So sabi, the equation of a parabola is symmetric to x-axis. So ibig sabihin, class, if the parabola, okay, symmetric to x-axis, what is the equation? Kapag symmetric sa x-axis, it's either what? So we have, what is the equation? Y squared equals 4ax. Since the parabola is symmetric to x-axis, it's either to the right or to the left. Okay? And then, how are we going to find the equation of this parabola? We're going to substitute the given point. Since itong point na to, class, ay nag-pass through dito sa equation na to. It's a part of this equation. Alright? So we will just substitute. the value. So we'll have 6 squared equals 4a. We don't know the value of a, and x is negative 3. 6 squared, that is 36, equals, when we simplify this is 36 is equal to negative 12a. And then let's find the value of a. We divide both sides by negative 12. So a is negative 4. If this is the equation of the parabola and the value of a is negative, therefore, the
Ma'am, excuse po.
parabola is
3 lang po,
opening
ma'am.
to the... sorry, that's negative 3. So again, since the equation of the parabola is y squared equals 4ax, it's either the parabola opening to the right or to the left. Since the value of a is negative 3, therefore the parabola opens to the left. Okay? And then, what is now the equation? So we will have y squared equals 4 multiplied by the value of a, negative 3 times x. So y squared equals negative 12x. So this is the equation of a parabola. Y squared equals negative 12x. And we need, what is the focus if this is the equation? Kapag si y ang naka-squared, ang value ng focus natin ay kay a tayo magkaka-value. So we'll have negative 3, 0. So we have the vertex, focus, and directrix. What is the equation of a directrix? We will have
X is equals 3.
x is equal to, or x equals 3. Okay? So we have x equals negative a. So since the value of a is negative 3, so it becomes positive. So this is the equation of a line, or the equation of a directrix. X equals 3. And the length of the LR, or the latus rectum class, that's the absolute value of 4a. Since we're talking about length, it's always positive. So 4 times negative 3. So that's the absolute value of 4 times negative 3, which is 12. So yun, klaso, yung 4a natin. Get the absolute value of that. It's 12. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong from focus, 6 to the, you count 6 pataas and 6 pababa. Kasi yun ang length niya ng latus rectum. What is the endpoint? Endpoints. Kasi dalawa. Endpoints of LR will have so ang focus natin ay negative 3. So negative 3, 2a. 2 times negative 3, negative 6. And we have negative 3, 6. Now you can graph. Sabi ba, graph? Hindi naman. It says there, a parabola has its vertex at the origin, its axis along the x-axis, and passes through the point -3, 6. Find its equation. But you can check also your answer if it's correct. So, dapat, pag ginrap nyo siya, tama naman. So, if we try to graph this is to the right, ay to the left, right? So, dito na lang. We have the vertex at the origin and focus is at -3. And then we have the length is 12. So bilang tayo ng 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you will have this. And here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So tama ba? Ang endpoints, -3, 6, -3, -6. Correct. And the length of this is 12. And the equation of directrix is x equals 3. 1, 2, 3. Or if you want class, sabi natin sa parabola, ang distance ng vertex to focus, this is the fixed point and this is the fixed line, equal. Diba? So, kung ang distance ng focus to vertex ay 3, 1, 2, 3. Ganon din dapat sa directrix. 1, 2, 3. And you draw a line. Okay? And you connect. Okay? So that is the graph. Sabi, it's parabola opening to the left. Question, class.
Wala po.
Clear? Okay, next. Number 3. Number 3, class. The equation of a parabola is x squared equals -6y. Find the coordinates of the focus. So for us to find the focus, equation of directrix, and the length of latus rectum. Okay, so let's find the equation of a parabola. So obviously, since this is the equation, the vertex is at the origin. Okay, if this is the equation, okay, the focus is at what? Pag si x ang naka-squared, ibig sabihin ang may value ay si y. Right? So we'll have 0 and we don't know what is the value of a. So let's solve. X squared equals -6y. And it says there, we have this x squared equals 4ay. Therefore, 4a here, it's equal to -6. Divide both sides by 4. A is -3 halves. So the focus is at 0, -3 halves. And how about the directrix? What is the equation of a directrix? Dahil
Y
si x ang
equals
naka-squared, we will have y equals -a. So negative of this, we will have y equals 3 halves. And the length of latus rectum okay, sabi natin, length of LR is the absolute value, right, of 4A. The absolute value of 4A. So 4 multiplied by A, which is negative 3 halves. So we will have 4 times negative 3, negative 12, divided by 2, negative 6. The absolute value of negative 6 is 6. Okay? So that is the length of the latus rectum. So yun lang naman yung hinahanap class. Find the coordinates of the focus, equation of the directrix, and the length of the latus rectum. Question class. Are we clear?
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, let's try another example. Meron pang isa class, parabola with vertex at HK. Number 4, ito ay wala sa module. Okay, we're going to find the coordinates of the coordinates of the focus, equation of the directrix, okay, draw the parabola, its focus, and directrix. So we have y squared equals 28x. So the given equation is y squared equals 28x. We're asked to find the focus. Dahil si y ang naka-squared, ang focus natin may value ang ito. But we don't know the value of a. Y squared equals 28x. So we have here y squared equals 4ax. Therefore, 4a, that is equal to 28. Divide both sides by 4, a is 7. Therefore, the value of a is 7. Dahil ang naka-squared si y, dito meron tayong a, the coordinates of focus is a, 0. So we will have a, it's 7, 0. And then, equation of the directrix. Equation of directrix, we will have, follow natin to, may value si x. So we'll have x equals the negative of this, negative 7. And draw the parabola. So we have here focus is 7, 0. So it's either parabola opening to the right or to the left. Since the value of a here is positive, the parabola is to the right. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the focus. And the length of the latus rectum is 28. So, ibig sabihin, when we divide it by 2, you count pataas ng 14 and going down ng 14 din. So, assume this is 14. This is negative 14. The vertex is at the origin. So, the parabola opens to the right. Okay? So, again, ang length nito class ay 28. Okay? So, ang endpoints ng latus rectum natin ay 7, 14, and 7, negative 14. If you want, sulat nyo na lang din. And the directrix, we have x equals negative 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is x equals negative 7. So, dapat 7 din ang distance nito. Vertex to focus. Vertex to your directrix. Okay? So, that's it. Clear? Next. Another, we have 2x squared plus 5y equals 0. So, same with letter A. We're going to find the coordinates of the focus, equation of the directrix. We're going to draw the parabola, its focus, and directrix. So we have the equation of a parabola, 2x squared plus 5y equals 0. So we need to simplify this. 2x squared equals negative 5y. The coefficient of x squared should be equal to 1. So we divide both sides by 2. So we'll have x squared equals negative 5 halves y. So this is the equation of the parabola. X squared equals negative 5 halves y. And 4a, that is to find the value of a, negative 5 halves. Divide both sides by 4. A is, we'll have negative 5 halves multiplied by 1/4. Therefore, the value of A is negative 5/8. If this is the equation, we have the coordinates for focus 0,
0A.
A. So we'll have 0 and A is negative 5/8. Focus, directrix. What is the equation of directrix? So we will have y equals negative
5.
A. So we'll have 5/8. And so we have the equation focus directrix. So when we graph it, the value of A is less than 0. At si x ang naka-square. Therefore, the opening of a parabola opens what?
Downward po.
Downward. So, visualize downward. So, ibig sabihin, nasa baba siya. And 0, negative 5/8. Negative 5 is, assume this is negative 1. So, here, focus. The vertex is at the origin. And then, So the length of latus rectum is negative or 5 halves. Divide by 2, we will have, so ang end points, sulat na lang natin, end points of latus rectum class ay 2a, twice of value of a, twice of this, 10/8 or simplify, negative 5/4, negative 5/8, and 5/4, negative 5/8. So, ibig sabihin, we have, what's the length? Length of latus rectum. The absolute value of 4a, we will have 4 multiplied by negative 5/8. So we will have the answer is what is negative 20 over 8, or this is 2, negative 5 halves. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayo dito negative 5/4, that is negative 1 and 1/4. Negative 1 and then 1/4. Dito, ganun din. And then, directrix 5/8. So, this is 1. So, halimbawa yan. Y equals 5/8. That's it. Okay? So, in your activity, tingnan natin. Question so far. So, meron ganun. Given ang equation. So, nagbigay na ako ng example nito. Okay. So, let's try exercise B. How about given ang focus or whatever the coordinates like directrix, length of the latus rectum, you're going to find the equation of a parabola. So, let's try example nun. Do you have any questions, clarification? Number, anong number na ba ito? 5. Number 5. Wait, hanap ako example. Okay, so we're going to write the equation of the parabola with vertex at the origin that satisfies the given conditions, draw the parabola, its focus and directrix. Write the equation of the parabola with vertex at the origin that satisfy the given conditions. Draw the parabola, its focus, and directrix. So, the focus is at 5, 0. Okay, so this is the condition. What is the equation of parabola, of the given parabola? If the focus is at 5, 0. Okay, so dito, how are we going to solve this? So you analyze. The value of A here is 5. And nauna, may value ang x coordinate. So ibig sabihin, we have the equation y squared equals 4ax. Since ang may value ay si x, so ang naka-squared si y. So we have y squared equals 4ax. And the value of a, according to our focus, is 5. Y squared equals 4 multiplied by 5 times x. So when we simplify, the equation is y squared equals 4 times 5. It's 20x. So this is the equation of a parabola. And then draw the parabola. We have the focus, the vertex is at the origin. This is the equation. We need directrix. Okay. What is the directrix? We will have what is the equation of the directrix? Dito tayo, susunod tayo, x, may value si x equals negative a, negative 5. So, kompleto na. We have the focus, vertex, directrix equation. And we're going to draw the parabola. The value of a is positive. At ito ang equation natin. So, pag si y anak squared, it's either right or to the left. Since it's positive, the parabola opens to the right. We have 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the focus. The vertex is at the origin. And the length of the latus rectum, kung aalamin natin yung endpoints niya, ang 4a natin, that's equal to 20. Ibig sabihin, when we divide it by 2, you count 10 upward and 10 downward. So assume this is 10. And here we have negative 10. Or if you want, you write the endpoints, which is the endpoints is 5, 10 for 2a, and 5, negative 10. So same lang yan, class. And then we graph. And the directrix x equals negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. X equals negative 5. Okay? So, ganyan ang gagawin nyo sa activity class. If the given is the focus, Next, how about if the given is the equation of the directrix? So the equation of the directrix is x minus 3 equals 0. How are we going to find the equation of the parabola? Since the equation of the directrix is x minus 3 equals 0, therefore x equals 3. This is the equation. X equals 3. X equals 3 class. Ang directrix niya ay parallel sa y. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, ang equation niyan ay same nito. Y squared. Can you follow? Y squared equals 4ax. Since the directrix is parallel to y-axis. Class, ang x equals 3, ito yan. Dito. Pag in-imagine, sige, dito na. 1, 2, 3. Yan siya. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng magparabola up or downward. It's either to the left or to the right. And then, hindi pa natin alam yung equation of the parabola. So, we know that for the directrix, that is x equals negative a, right? Negative a. Therefore, what is the value of a?
Negative 3 po.
Alright, 4 times negative 3 times x. So, we'll have the equation y squared equals negative 12x. So, we have now the equation of the parabola. We don't know the focus. Focus, yun yung mga kailangan para mag-graph. Kung si y ang naka-squared, may value tayo sa x. Sa a, sorry. Ang a natin ay negative 3. So, ang focus ay negative 3, 0. Okay, so we have directrix, focus, vertex is at the origin, and this is the equation. And kung kukunin nyo ang endpoints, class, ang length of LR ay 12. Ibig sabihin, when we divide it into 2, we have 6. Vertex is sa lang kanang ani opens to the left since the value of wait lang class ha, nag-connecting. Okay, again, the endpoints of L are, we have negative 3, 6, and negative 3, negative 6. Okay, so yan siya, yung endpoints. And the length of LR class is 12. Question.
None so far, ma'am.
All right, so we're going to proceed to vertex if the vertex is at HK. All right. So for the vertex at HK, so we are now considering parabola whose axis is parallel to but not on a coordinate axis. Okay, in figure 3.11, the vertex is at HK. It means that hindi kasi laging ang vertex nasa origin. Any points on the coordinate axis. Okay, so subject is at HK and the focus at H plus A, K. So we're going to introduce another pair of axes by a translation to the point HK. Since the distance from the vertex to the focus, we have at once the equation y prime squared equals 4ax prime. So I'm going to summary again like we did dito. This is parabola with vertex at the origin. How about for parabola with vertex at HK? So what do you think? So the vertex is at HK. The equation now is since hindi na zero class ang vertex natin, magkakaroon na tayo instead na y squared equals 4a times x minus h. Okay? Hindi na kasi 0 to eh. So kung 0 ang HK natin, y minus 0, yung kanina, meron tayong y squared equals 4ax, right? If the vertex is at the origin. But if we have the vertex at HK, we will have this. Saan ba to galing? Ganun pa din. When we use the distance formula and when we get the x plus a, okay, yung kaninang ginawa natin, ito yung lalabas. Okay? This is the standard form for parabola with vertex at HK. By the way, this is also the standard form, general form pag naka-equate sa 0. And we have, pag si x naman ang naka-squared, x squared equals 4ay. At alam natin, si x, laging ka-partner niyan, si h. Like sa circle. Si y, ang partner niya lagi si k. So if we have here, with parabola with vertex at HK, the equation is the square root of x minus h equals 4a and y minus. Multiply it by y minus k. Okay, if this is the equation, square root of y minus k equals 4a multiplied by x minus h. And we have the square root of x minus h equals 4a multiplied by y minus k. Again, class, laging magka-partner si y at si k. Si x at si h. Okay? So, this is the coordinates, h, k. Huwag yung pagbabalik na rin. So, for focus, kapag di ba si y ang naka-squared, we have the focus A0 para dito. A0, right? dito 0A kasi si x ang naka-squared. So dito magkakaroon na tayo para makuha ang focus. Meron tayong A0. So kay A ka mag-a-add H plus A 0. This is now the coordinates for focus. Sorry, we have K, not 0. Hindi na dito 0 class. Kasi nga, ang vertex natin, depende na kung anong points yon. Any points sa coordinate plane. So dito, H plus A, then follow K. Dito naman, we will have H, K, plus A. Kasi ang focus natin, pag nasa vertex, 0, A. So, ibig sabihin, dito ka laging mag-a-add. At alam natin, pag sa Y, ang kapartner niyan si K. Kaya, K plus A. Clear? Opening of parabola. So, ganun pa rin naman class sa opening of a parabola. If A is less than 0, dito, alam natin, it's either left or right. Dahil less than 0, the parabola opens to the left. If A greater than 0, the parabola opens to the right. For this one, if A is less than 0, the parabola opens upward. Sorry, downward. If it's less than 0 or if it's negative. If A greater than 0, the parabola opens upward. Or if the value of A is positive. Next, so we have the vertex, focus, opening of the parabola, latus rectum. For the latus rectum class, we have the equation x equals h plus a. And for the direction, it's vertical. Ganun pa din naman. And same, ang length ng LR ay 4A pa din. Hindi naman siya nagbabago class. 4A. Endpoints. We have H plus P. So K plus or minus 2A. Sorry, not P. H plus A. H plus A. Saan galing si P? H plus A. And then K plus or minus 2A. Ba? Kanina, 2A lang siya. A 2A. Tsaka A negative 2A. So dito pinagsama ko na. H plus A, K plus 2A. Tsaka yung isa, H plus A, K minus 2A. And for this equation, for the latus rectum, the equation is Y. Kasi equation niya ay y naman. Kasi si x ang naka-squared. So, y equals k plus a. Kasi we're talking about y. So, dapat k ka mag-add. And then, the direction, of course, it's horizontal. The length, same lang. 4a pa din yan, class. And then, the endpoints of latus rectum, H H plus or minus A and K plus This is 2a. H plus or minus, baliktad. Dito, H plus A. So, dito, baliktad naman, si 2a. H plus or minus 2a. And then, sa kabila, plus or minus dito, dito hindi. K plus A. Okay, and then, directrix. Ang axis of symmetry niyan, 'di ba, ang y squared, it's to the right or to the left. So, symmetric yan sa x-axis. Right? Dito naman, ang axis of symmetry, ito ay symmetric sa y-axis. So, when we visualize it. Okay? So, itong axis, y-axis ang humahati dito sa parabola. Upward man yan or downward. So, dito naman, x-axis. Okay, x-axis naman. So, ang directrix natin, class, ay equation ay ganun pa din. Pag si y ang naka-squared, we have x. X equals, dahil si x to, we will have h minus a. Kasi 'di ba kanina, x equals negative a. Ngayon naman, meron ng h. X equals h minus a. Kapag ganito naman ang equation, si x naman ang naka-squared, vertex at hk, the equation of directrix is y. Kasi si x ang naka-squared. And ang kapartner ni y ay si k. K minus a. Okay? At dito, ang directrix natin ay ganun pa rin. Parallel sa x-axis. Dito, ang directrix parallel sa y-axis. Okay? So, that is the summary nung nasa module. So, let's try example. So, sa module, let's have example number 1. Write the equation of the parabola. Hindi pala. Draw the graph pala. Draw the graph of the equation y squared plus 8x minus 6y plus 25 equals 0. Kanina pala class, hindi natin na-try. Given a general form, we're going to write this into standard form. Okay? But before we graph, of course, we need to find first the equation of this in standard form. So, si y ang naka-squared. So, isolate terms with y. Y squared minus 6y equals negative 8x minus 25. We do completing the squares. We're going to get the third term for this, y squared minus 6y. So, negative 6 divided by 2, it's negative 3. Squared it. Squared of negative 3, 9. Plus 9. So, we add 9 on the left side. We're going to add 10 on the right side. Negative 8x minus 25 plus 9. And then, simplify. Get the factors of this, y squared minus 6y plus 9. We have the squared of y minus 3. Y times y squared, twice the product of the terms, negative 6y, squared of negative 3, positive 9. So this is the factors. Then, simplify this, negative 8x, negative 25 plus 9, negative 16. We're going to write this to the squared of y minus k equals 4a times x minus h. Okay? So, okay na tayo sa left side. Dito na lang. So, we'll have the squared of y minus 3 equals, get the common factor or factor out. So, what's the common factor? We have negative 8 multiplied by x because negative 8 times x, it's negative 8x. Negative 16 divided by negative 8, positive 2. Or negative 8 times 2, it's negative 16. Okay, so this is now the standard form. Y squared plus 8x minus 6y plus 25 equals 0. This is the general form. Maraming nalilito sa general form, even yung sa exam. Pag naka-equate sa zero class, that's general form. This is the standard form for parabola. And then, before we graph this equation, we need to get the vertex, focus, latus rectum, the equation of a directrix. So, we don't know the value of how are we going to get the vertex class? Vertex, we have HK. So, here, if we have this, the standard form, ang H natin dito, like in circle, kung positive yan, we have here, negative 2. For K, this is negative 3, so you have 3. Okay, so dito galing. Kaya dapat, you need to solve muna yung equation. Now, the vertex is at negative 2, 3. Okay? Dahil ang Y ang naka-squared, si focus ay ano?
X po,
Kunin
ma'am.
muna natin ang value ng A. Hindi pa pala natin alam class yung value ni A. If this is 4A, okay, 4A is equal to negative 8. Divide both sides
Okay
by
na, ma'am.
4. A is equal to negative 2. Meron na tayong, ito yung mga kailangan nyo muna, H, K, and then the value of A, which is